So in March, in the beginning of March, I deleted my Instagram and TikTok. Well, I deleted the apps. I still have the accounts. But I deleted the apps from my phone. Yeah, I thought I would talk about the experience of these last few months with no social media, why I quit, will I go back, because I am kind of thinking about like going back to Instagram. So yeah, this video will be about that. So my reasons for quitting, probably along the same lines of why everybody quits Instagram: being overwhelmed, being anxious, just like not really having a positive experience from the apps. I felt like I was so wrapped up in like literally what everyone else was doing, and I stopped being able to like celebrate my own self, my own accomplishments and achievements, because I was always like pinning them against other people's achievements, both people that I knew and didn't know. I follow like maybe 800 people on Instagram, and which isn't like that much, but to think about the effect on your brain of keeping up with that many people, comparing yourself to that many people, so many different types of people, celebrities, models, musicians, friends, family, like it's probably not great for our brains, especially my brain. I feel like I have like a little monkey brain where I can't really focus on that many things. I think I need to, well, I don't know if that's a good way of describing it. Instagram started to feel very unnatural to me, and I just didn't really like the way that I was feeling. It felt very like unhuman or inhuman of a habit, and it became an addiction. And I've been obsessed with my Instagram, or just my social media in general, for so many years that I was just kind of tired of being addicted to it. Like, it was just exhausting, constantly having to keep up and just be involved. Like I don't want to be involved anymore, honestly. I feel like there's a lot of stuff on Instagram and social media in general that's just not my business, that somehow became my business simply because I was scrolling from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep. By noon of every day, I was already like seeing the lives of like thousands of people, and it just did not feel, especially with TikTok was like the worst with that. I would wake up in the morning and immediately get on TikTok, and then 3 hours later, you know how it goes, 3 hours later, I'm still on TikTok and my brain is like mush. I don't know. I just couldn't be on it. So yeah, the amount of stimuli, too much stimuli in one day. We have enough distractions and things that just take our focus away from the tasks at hand. Especially me having ADHD, it's hard for me to just like stay on one path like at one time. And yeah, social media was just constantly, especially Instagram, it was just constantly like bringing me away from what I needed to be doing, and I wasn't able to focus. Where was I going with that? Right. And I had so many of my own issues that were taking up so much space, emotional, mental, and also just like my like the physical, what would you say, like the physical things that I had to deal with in my everyday life. And to add on all of that extra stimuli was just, it just wasn't sustainable. So that's why I clearly had to stop. And why else? Instagram stopped feeling creative to me. Like, the whole point for me for a long time was to be on Instagram, to be creative, to share my work, to look at other people's work, to like build a community. By 2023, it just doesn't feel like that anymore. It just kind of feels like you're performing for people who aren't even watching. Like, you're performing to an audience that has their back literally turned. What's the point of putting all this work and effort and like emotional, you know, energy into creating beautiful content and like, I don't know, just like making Instagram be like followable, only for no one to even see or like actually care what you're doing? And it's discouraging, for one, as an artist, and for two, artists have literally existed since the beginning of time and they didn't have Instagram. So I don't need Instagram either. At least that's what I took away. Okay, and another reason was my privacy. I have always had a weird relationship with sharing my business on the internet. I don't think it's ever been really healthy. I think it's always been a coping mechanism. I think I like it's weird because it's like I love the attention that I get when I am trauma dumping or just like posting a bunch of like really personal stuff, like because I know that people are seeing what I'm saying and they are like, I don't feel so alone in those feelings. But then as soon as I have to stand behind what I say online, it's like very uncomfortable. Like I remember there's this one time where my friend's like older sister, like one of my best friend's older sister, was like, oh, like I saw, like I haven't seen her in a long time. She's like, oh, like I saw what you posted on Instagram and I was like really worried about you and da 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 da. And I was just thinking, like, how many people are seeing the things that I post and forming these, like, this perception of me that I don't even really, it just was weird. And having to like explain my behavior online in real life was very hard. And because of that, I was just like, you need to stop. You need to chill out. This is not healthy. It'd be one thing if, you know, she said that to me and I was like, yeah, like I wanted to go all in about my business and what happened and what the situation was and how I'm feeling now, but I didn't. I felt embarrassed. The only reason why I felt that embarrassment is because in my real actual life I had to stand behind the things that I said online and it was uncomfortable. To me, that was just a wake-up call in terms of privacy and the value of remaining private, and like, not, the world doesn't need to know about every single breakdown I have, every single breakup I have, everywhere I go, everything I do, like what's made me sad today, what makes me happy today, how do I feel about myself. The internet doesn't need to know all of that. Instagram, I felt like was just, I was constantly just like putting my business out there and putting my business out there, and I just didn't like it at a certain point. I just stopped being fun and it stopped being like a way that I even wanted to cope. Like I didn't want to put my business out there. I had been doing it for so long that it was just like an automatic response. Like something bad happens, I post about it on Instagram. Something crazy happens, post about it on Instagram. And I was just in this habit of just sharing, and I wasn't providing any value, and I also wasn't even depicting myself in the way that I want to be depicted or perceived. And I wasn't doing myself any favors by constantly having everyone that I know the very intimate details of my life and my like inner self. And yeah, I just wanted to stop doing that. So yeah, reclaiming my privacy was like a really big part of it as well. Then one of the last reasons was just I was consuming more content than I was creating, and that made me uncomfortable because as an artist, as a creative person, I never want to be consuming more than I'm creating. Like this whole goal in life of being an artist and being a creator and like sharing my work with others and, you know, connecting with other artists is to like, it's to be creating. Like the goal is to create. And I found myself just constantly consuming and then comparing myself to other people. And it was just this cycle of like, I'm going online to find inspiration. Like I need new ideas. I'm feeling a little bit burnt out or like in a creative rut. I need to go online to find inspiration. And I would find inspiration, but the inspiration would just make me feel worse about my own stuff. I don't have the money to take these like beautiful trips that people are taking, and I can't like film these super interesting vlogs from my New York City high-rise apartment. Like I just was constantly looking at content that I wasn't able to make living in Philadelphia with no money and being in school, and it wasn't leading to me going out there and creating more content. That's for sure. I wasn't taking more pictures, I wasn't posting more videos. There was really no point in me finding inspiration from people that I just envied. I just would end up being jealous of. What was the point? I feel like with all of like these points, all of these reasons why I wanted to stop using Instagram and TikTok, the moral of the story is that I stopped finding a point in being on there. I also stopped caring about what other people were doing too. I was scrolling on Instagram and scrolling on TikTok, and I'm like, do I even really care about any of these things? No, not really. Instagram just felt like a very dark cloud above my head, and it's felt like that for the past like 3-4 years. And at a certain point, you do have to ask yourself, like, why am I doing this? Like, what is the point of being on here if you're not even happy? You're not even receiving the benefits of being on this platform. You don't have a community on here. So why are you doing it if it's not enriching you? Especially when there's so many things and people and hobbies that I have in my real life outside of the internet that do enrich me. That if I spent even a fraction of the hours that I spent on the internet focusing on like my real life, how much better would my life be? So that's kind of what I was trying to figure out in these few months that I spent off of it. So how I feel like my life has improved since quitting Instagram. Number one, I no longer feel like I am constantly playing a game of catch up with other people's journeys. I feel like I'm able to actually celebrate myself and celebrate my accomplishments without pitting them against the accomplishments of other people's. And I just am able, like, my achievements are my own, and I really appreciate being able to celebrate myself with little resistance to, well, that person was doing that and that person did that a year ago, and you don't have as high GPA as that person, because there are people that I follow that literally post their grades. I'm like, we are in college, please stop posting your grades, whatever. I'm finally able to appreciate my milestones because they are my milestones, and I don't have to worry about how my milestones are perceived by others, because I'm also, not only am I not like comparing my achievements and like my journey to other people's, but I'm also not sharing them as well, which is kind of weird for people to not really know like what's going on in my life, especially like close friends and family. So then there is the spiritual safety of my privacy, like kind of taking my privacy back. I also really kind of like being mysterious. It's kind of fun, like when people see you, to actually be able to catch up, to like get into the nitty gritty, not have, because like what used to happen is I would see people that I hadn't seen in like years, months or years, and they'd be like, I heard about this, and I'm like, like it just didn't, it wasn't like fun to like have someone. I feel like it's more fun when you see someone after a really long time to catch up and to like really like dig into like the big things in your life that have happened that like that they've missed or you've missed of theirs, without it being like, I don't know if this makes sense, but yeah, I don't know, just to catch up with someone and not have like, well, I saw you posted that on Instagram. It's like, yeah, I did post that on Instagram, but I don't want to talk about it now. Like, that's not recent anymore. Like, the idea of like what has recently happened to you changes based on what random people know about you. Am I getting into something that doesn't make sense? I'm gonna stop that right here. But anyways, I wanted to get better at protecting my peace, and I feel like I've done that by number one, not sharing all of my business, and number two, not seeing everyone else's business, because let's be real, a lot of the stuff we see online is not our business. It's becoming our business because it's in front of our faces, but realistically it has nothing to do with me. And then in terms of like my friends and my family and people that I'm close with and their personal business, yeah, like their business is like sort of my business, but at the same time not really. Like it's not my job to keep up with everyone. I feel like I'm not making sense in this video. It's like kind of scaring me because I don't think I'm being like as articulate as I want to be, but I hope it's making sense. Another benefit has been me finally creating more than I'm consuming. One of the main things that I said that I was gonna do when I quit Instagram was to take YouTube more seriously and start like posting at least like every other week, if not weekly, on YouTube, which is something that I've wanted to do for like, I don't even know, the past like 3 years, because I wanted to do it in 2020 when the pandemic first started. And here we are, 2023, midway through, finally making it happen. And I feel like I was only able to make that happen because I didn't have Instagram as a distraction, and YouTube just like became my platform, if that makes sense. It's very exhausting like watching people live your dream while you're doing something that you're not even happy yourself doing. Like, I wouldn't say that I love my life right now, or that like these past 3 years have been like, you know, my best years, especially with everything that's happened. But at the same time, it really doesn't help when you're constantly looking at people like doing the things that you want to be doing and going the places you want to go and like having the opportunities that you want to have but you're not able to have because of the millions of reasons why life isn't perfect. You know, it's like there's nothing to really like complain about, but it just like, it is what it is. And seeing all of these things and feeling so envious of all of these people wasn't leading me to create more. And finally, I feel as though I have like the mental space to invest in my own work. And I finally am like consistent on YouTube, and like I'm seeing like the benefits of it. I'm really liking like making videos, and it feels just a lot more authentic to me than Instagram ever did. And maybe it's because I'm like literally like talking, and like I feel like you're getting to know me a lot better than if I was posting a picture of myself or posting a 60-second reel or TikTok or something like that. I feel like I'm developing as a creative person faster, or at least like more intentionally, now that I don't have Instagram like taking up so much of my brain space, and TikTok. But TikTok is different. Like TikTok was just like a time thing. Like truly, I just spent too much time on there, and for no reason at all. Another way my life has improved is it's just one less addiction. It's one less thing that I am mentally reliant on. I hated the way that like when the first week that I deleted the app, my finger, when I would like scroll on my phone, would like automatically like go to the space where Instagram was. And it wasn't Instagram anymore. I don't know what app replaced it, but I kept clicking on that app thinking like, oh, I'm gonna go on Instagram. And I was so conscious of how many times a day my mind went to go on Instagram. Like it was an impulse that I swear I had like 50 times a day. That's an addiction. And it's not seen as like being super harmful. Well, actually no, I think people are realizing, and like there's like more research being done into like the effects of social media on like our little brains, but I don't think it's taken very seriously. The fact that I can like acknowledge that something isn't good for me, but I'm not able to actually stop doing the thing that's not good for me, to me is like addiction. And I am very lucky that I do not have an addictive personality in the way, like I do get addicted to things, like I do get addicted to things, don't get me wrong, but I'm able to put them down with not a whole lot of work. Especially like I did it with nicotine. I used nicotine for, I don't know, like I vaped many years, and I've always been able to quit when I wanted to quit. I quit when I can't afford to buy $27 vapes at 7-Eleven anymore. Regardless of the reason, I'm able to do it. And that's not something that everyone can say. So I do feel very lucky that I do have a little bit more control over my vices than other people may have. And you get addicted to like the clout. You get addicted to seeing like a new follower, seeing a new comment, getting likes, like posting a picture and constantly opening the app. Did I get more likes? Did I get a new comment? It's just so obsessive and unnecessary. If I could just have Instagram, post on the app, and then be done, close it out for the day, not get on it until like the next day, that'd be great. And maybe I'd like reconsider. But the fact of the matter is that I post a picture and then I'm opening the app every 10 minutes to see if I've suddenly become famous. And it's like, what is the point of this? Like, what are you checking for? What are you waiting for? Because you still have 50 likes 4 hours later. So just relax. Like, the fame is not coming. I would love to say that my screen time has gone down. I don't think it has, because YouTube has kind of replaced Instagram, to be completely honest. But that's just because I like listen to a lot of like video essays and podcasts, and so my screen time does not reflect like deleting 2 apps, but I think the time that I spend on my phone is a lot more intentional and not as, I don't think it hurts me as much as Instagram and TikTok did. I don't think I experienced like that emotional hit from YouTube. Yeah, I still see people who, you know, we all have a favorite vlogger who's doing exactly what we wish we could be doing. But at the same time, I feel much more in control of my YouTube usage, and that's the only app I use. I don't, am I lying? I don't think I'm lying. Like I don't use any other apps. So even though my screen time hasn't necessarily gone down, it's screen time from different things that I think are not as like bad for my little brain. I keep saying my brain is little. I don't mean that I'm stupid, but I'm just like, little brain, fragile brain. The longer you spend off of it, the easier it is. That first week is everything. If you can get through the first week of not using it and not somehow get sucked back in to being on it, I think like all the weeks after are so much easier. So much easier. They say it's like the same with nicotine too. Like the first few days are the worst days, and once you get over that hump, then it becomes so much easier. And now, like today, going on Instagram is like stressful. Like when I accidentally open the app, because I do still have the app on my phone, I just removed it from the like home screen, or like I can't click it, I have to search it in order to find it. I, for some reason in my brain, I'm like, what if I get an important DM? What if I miss like my shot at stardom? I don't know who I think is about to DM me, but I do have it just in case I get an important DM or something like that. Suddenly I become famous. Like I said in the beginning, I'm kind of thinking about going back on Instagram, which, okay, this is what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out like how, like what healthy Instagram usage looks like, what it feels like, how much time is spent on it, who do I follow. I am kind of considering unfollowing like a lot of people. And like no more celebrities, no more artists that I don't know. Like I want my Instagram to be for me and only for me and my friends and the people that I love, and no more, no less. Like I am so always caught up in, is this a good post? Is this a good caption? Like, is this gonna be good on the Instagram algorithm? First of all, the Instagram algorithm, I can't even get started with that. I'm always thinking about my image on Instagram, and it would be really nice to just not bring back the casual Instagram like they say, which I want to do, but it does take a lot of like strength, like mental strength, to not get sucked back in, because it's so easy to get caught up in like, oh, beautiful account, I want my account to look like this, I want to be like this person. It's like easy to get like sucked back into that mindset. I really would like to post, like I'm traveling almost the entire summer. I want to be able to like show people stuff. Like I want to be able to show my friends what I'm doing. At the end of the day, I do want to be able to share my little photos that I take on Instagram. I am trying to evaluate what healthy Instagram habits look like for me and how I can maintain those habits rather than sink into another hole where I'm feeling jealousy, envy, anger, sadness, dread, despair, like so many emotions, none of them positive. Like so like 5% of them positive, 95% of them, oh my god, what is going on here? So I'll let you know if I end up getting back on Instagram, but I am thinking about it. And yeah, thank you for following along. If you've gotten to the end of this video, I just want to get something up. Hopefully next video will be something more like photography related. But for today, I've been wanting to make this video since month 1, month 2, now it's month 3. Month 3, almost month 4, I'm finally making my quitting Instagram video. So yeah, I'm happy that I was able to sit in front of my camera and just get it done, get it out of the way, not worry about it being perfect, because it's not going to be perfect, because that is just life. And yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, share, do all the things that are gonna make me happy. And I will see you in the next video.